Word of advice, everybody. Do not park your car underneath a Porsche on a lift. Drip, drip, drip.
Here we go with this again. They don't want to listen, I'm gonna bring it to them simple.
Hey guys, we're back with our Project TSX. Wiring. Get it running. That's what we need to do today. Welcome to VTEC Academy. You are about to get schooled.
VTEC Academy is Honda Performance.
All right, guys, we're back here with the TSX. We need to wrap this thing up. We got our clutch pedal in and everything's bolted in now. Put the dash back in, get the engine back in, get all the cables and vacuum lines and wiring, all that stuff hooked up, get an ECU in here. Let's fire this puppy up and let's see what we can do. I want to drive this thing around. I'm hoping that we can get it done pronto so I can drive it home and then bring my TL down here and manual swap that. Anyways, let's get to it. Brian, anything people should look out for when they're doing this installation of the brake master and booster?
Just be prepared to move a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so why didn't we just start off with a manual car? Well, first off, we found this relatively clean TSX for less than what it would cost to engine swap another car. Also, to find a clean TSX that's manual already is kind of like finding a needle in a haystack. Sometimes you can't find it locally, and sometimes you can't even find it within 500 miles of your place. And you do a nationwide search and you find that what's available isn't that great. Like this one, got accidents, multiple owners, even used as a fleet vehicle. Who knows how straight that body is? You don't want to get something just because it's manual and then end up having to change over the whole suspension or even have to straighten the body.
Be patient.
Yeah.
It eventually goes in.
Yes.
Yeah. The harness, since we moved it, was it more difficult to get by the harness?
No, it was a little bit easier because it had a little bit more flexibility since we got rid of that plastic boot thing that was on there.
Got it.
So either way, it was going to be a pain in the butt.
Yep. One of the things about doing this engine swap is getting everything to work properly. Some people may not care, but some people are going to care. I'm one of those people. So we wanted to make sure the cruise control worked and the clutch interlock switch worked so that when we started the car up, we had to depress the clutch so we didn't accidentally start it up and run over small children or into animals or into another car, into a Civic, 88 Civic hatchback. That would have been tragic. So anyway, Brian was tasked with doing that, so check in with him, see what he did.
We needed this 3-pin plug and this 2-pin plug. This is for the cruise control. This is for the starter cut.
And these are both activated by the clutch.
Yes. This one's on the bottom of the clutch. This one's on the top of the clutch pedal. Starter cut signal needed to get to the fuse box. D-pin this wire that used to be part of the neutral range switch on the automatic transmission. So we D-pin that, added in our new wire. We need a ground, so we'll have a ground. We'll do that down by the hood pop once we get the dash back in. Then strung the wiring over to add in this wire into D9 for the cruise control. Took out this wire that was part of the manual shift up when you put the auto stick into manual mode. So we just depin that and put that in for our cruise control. And once we put in a manual computer, everything should work as is.
Nice. Are there any other changes we're gonna have to do? I mean, the only thing I can think of is for the reverse lockout.
Yeah, but we can take care of that in the engine harness. So.
Okay. Awesome.
And yeah, other than figuring out what to do with the key cylinder so we can get the key to come out so it either thinks it's in park or just fake that. But
Typically, I don't even worry about that. I just leave that circuitry in there and I just actually pull the little solenoid that pins the key in.
I've done that before.
Yeah, so it seems to work fine. It doesn't create any issues or anything. So we'll do that next. All right, so this particular little green JAE connector this operates the two middle wires, operate our solenoid lock, our little solenoid key lock. What we did was we removed the ground wire and we're just gonna tuck it back up here in the sleeve because it doesn't matter if it's not gonna short on anything. This other wire, this white wire next to it, that was actually the power wire. Solid white for our particular year, white with a yellow stripe if it's a 0405.
White red.
White red, okay. White red if it's 0405. Anyway, you could take that one out too. You could also just cut them. It actually requires a special tool to get these wires out, a little square tool that is no longer available that pokes in the hole and releases it, but you can just cut it.
Too many plastic pegs and all this other the brakes are just smeared something. Whoa. Maybe if you pull towards you, then there's also that. I didn't say that in the book.
Brian's like, there's an analog solution.
Yeah. There we go. Yep. Because I had to lift it up over.
Is it in?
Yeah, other than the 14 bolts and 60 wiring link connections, it's in. It's ready to go.
So do we have something going on with the order of operations for the brake booster and the clutch line?
Yes, there's something going on with the order of operation. Basically, we put the clutch line in and didn't realize that it needs to actually go behind the brake booster near the firewall. And you can't get it back there once the brake booster's in. It's the brake booster is almost touching the firewall in one little area and does not allow the line to pass through. So that's the issue.
Okay, so the engine and transmission are back together, and right now I got to work on the harness. We're going to be converting this over to manual with a few caveats. First off, I pulled back the wiring that went to our front mount solenoid, So that's going to be repurposed for our reverse lockout. So that's coming back. It'll come out right here and go to that. The other thing I need to do is I need to remove almost all these plugs. This is automatic transmission stuff, with exception of our countershaft speed sensor, which we're going to keep, and the O2 sensor, or air fuel ratio sensor. I think that's everything on here. I'll double check that before I rip it all apart. But almost all of these wires are going to come out, and that's going to come all the way back here to this D plug right here, which is inside the car. So this is going to come out. A handful of wires are going to come out of this plug, a couple of wires out of these two plugs, all of these wires, and then almost all of these. And once I'm done with that, tape it all back up and slap it on the motor. Now, there's also some stuff going to be added. I need to add some length to our countershaft speed sensor, because right now it won't reach the front of the transmission, it reaches the back side of the transmission. The other thing I need to do is I need to put in backup light switch. Now we're going to do backup light switch like it is done in an automatic, rather than actually it making the connection between battery power and the rear lights. What it's going to be doing is it's going to be triggering a relay. So I'm going to build a wiring harness, a little sub harness that's going to go to the ground, and then from there, then the second wire is going to go back through the cabin harness, come back to one of these two plugs right here. I think this one, this plug right here, and it's going to then from there connect to a relay in the MICU, which is going to trigger our backup lights. Again, go to VTEC Academy or VTECacademy.com, and you'll be able to see a diagram of what I did. So I got a lot of chopping and a lot of taping, and then I can slap this thing back on. Wiring always excites me. It's going in.
Well, stock miles look so wimpy.
It very much does.
It's like you're gonna hold up the whole engine with that.
And the fact that the housing is made out of plastic doesn't really encourage me.
Oh, jeez. That looks gnarly. That looks gnarly.
I think it's working.
Cool. I was just worried about the engine falling out.
The engine is in. Now we need to reconnect everything. For the most part, there's really no difference. There were modifications made to the wiring harness. The wiring harness goes basically through into the computer, so there's no wiring changes that are going to have to be done out here, but we do need to reconnect everything. So all of our vacuum lines, water lines, our new shift cables, they need to be connected. Air box, although I think I have a cold air intake somewhere from another car that I pulled off. I am going to replace this front mount. This front mount is no bueno. It seems to have lost its connection. The stock front mount that was in here before actually was an active mount. There's like a vacuum port connected up to it. So depending on what it's doing shifting wise, I think it either stiffens or loosens. I'm not really sure which, but we're manual, we don't care. So I'm going to just put a Hasport mount in there. Other things that have to be connected are brake booster, power steering hoses. None of that really changed. Really what's only changed is our transmission and the shift cables. And our intermediate shaft. So otherwise, pretty much just going together the way it came apart. The shifter is a direct bolt in. There are 4 bolt holes that the automatic mechanism bolted to, and those 4 bolt holes are spaced properly for the manual one to block in. And we've got this tricky cool one, fully billet jobber from K-Tuned that we're going to be putting in that should help make the shifting a little bit more crisp.
It's not even recognized. Mobilizer type number 8. Sure. Are you just messing with me now?
Choose your own adventure.
Mm-hmm. It basically is.
It's the song that never ends.
Oh, we can still start trying other stuff too. We'll try and rewrite stuff. But...
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Here we go. If the engine had compression, it might start. Regal? Yeah.
Oh no, what's going on?
Doesn't run. So
I hear it.
yeah,
I smell it.
you get when we try to rev it, it doesn't rev cleanly.
Huh.
It's like falls on space. So
Some more troubleshooting.
more troubleshooting. We might. One of the problems may be running a 2004 ECU in a 2006 car. There are some slight differences, so maybe some information is not getting to the engine, or some signals getting to the engine that doesn't need to be there. We may have to just try to find a 2006 ECU, or try to do the 0708 ECU and the CAN conversion.
Warmed up and ran after sitting for 2.5 years?
Do my lights work? Yes, they do. All right, this thing's not totally back together, but good enough to take it for a test drive. So I don't have a check engine light or anything, but that may be because this 2004 computer is not really compatible with this 2006 TSX chassis. So let's see what happens if we take it for a spin. Clutch works just like it should. So far, so good. Oh, grind. That wasn't me. We got a bad second gear synchro. Third, fourth, fine. Fifth, fine. Sixth, fine. Yowza. Bad second gear synchro. Let's watch this going slow. Clutch totally in. Grinds hard. Well, this transmission needs to go through. And this is the transmission we built. I can't believe we didn't catch that. Oh my God. Transmission's gonna come back out, no big deal. 2-hour job, check it out. Another hour to change the synchro. Another 2 hours, put it back in. No VTEC. Ah, got a check engine light. Okay. Well, And steering wheel's a little bit off too. Got a lot of stuff to do. We got a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, I just passed over second gear. Much nicer. Got plenty of low end grunt like it should, and unlike the automatic transmission, when you gas it, it goes. That's nice. But I'm gonna need to put the steering wheel back on straight. What is causing that little shake? Oh well. Got a lot of stuff we need to do this thing. Oh. So much promise and then no VTEC. Oh. Feels like it's gonna get up and go and then kind of stops. Yeah, grind. The reverse lockout does not work. More things to fix. All right, we got our list of things to work on. Power steering. What's my check engine light? I have no reverse lockout. Second gear's got a grind. It doesn't go into VTEC. Most of that, well, I shouldn't say most of that. A lot of that's probably related to the fact I'm using an 04 ECU in a 2006 car. So that's gonna be number one on my list of things to fix. Those ECUs are rare though. Maybe we can figure out another way to do this. Perhaps we can use an 06 Accord manual ECU and maybe modify it using a K-tuner so that we can tune the engine. Another option is the 07, 08 TSX ECU from Honda. They have a flash for that. I'm hoping that we can actually add manual code in an automatic ECU on that as well. That'd be cool. So we're not done with this. We need to figure out a few more things. The computer is a biggie though. So anyway, guys, we're not done. We're coming back to work on this again. Please, if you like TSXs and you want to see more, think about liking and subscribing. Got a friend with a TSX? Have them share it with them. That would be awesome. Anyways, please hit the subscribe button. That helps us bring more videos to more people and supports our channel. Anyway, guys, if you hit the bell, that gives you notifications when a new video comes out. Anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time. This TSX is not done. This is gonna be a track day car and it's gonna be a blast. Catch you next week.